Welcome back to Excel User Series 5.0 video number 4. In today's video we are about to see a function called DSum. I'll call this as database sum. Again, for this particular video I have just added a series of video which allows us to get what exactly we want in this data set, and when I do this video, this is not going to take a lot of time for me to get as a result, but again, to getting this result I did a lot of pre-work before I started working on this formula. I created a data table here, and then I converted that into a table, and then I created a name range so that I can easily call for the ranges here. I added a slicer to check whether my answer is coming correctly or not, plus I added a subtotal functionality, and I want to get a visual cue of my data set or my answers accuracy. I created a conditional formatting. So a lot of pre-work I've done. In the description below the video I will add all these dimensions. I've added few short functionalities or few short videos here, plus there are few videos which is a little bigger than a normal, which is not a shorts video, it will be a spark shot video which allows you to learn more about it. So these are the logics that I've added already in a separate video for us, so you can just check that in the description below, and then I'm going to create this as my output now. Again, I've already done all the basic homework, so whatever the data that I want to give as an output, I've made that ready. Again, I'm using this particular Excel worksheet in Office 365, so the spell effect will automatically come in control. So why in the world I want to use a DSum? This is one of the scenario that I stumbled upon today when I started working on it I just want to give all the sum functions available in Excel. That's what I had an actual agenda today, but unfortunately then I felt that giving the same logics again and again doesn't really make sense. So we'll try to make something more useful for the user end. So that's where I stumbled upon on DSum. And then I found out that it's really interesting for me, so I started building it. Again, before I go too deep into this data set, I'm about to build a few points. And again, this is the table name that I gave. I gave a data table as my table name. And when I gone back to my name manager, these are the name managers that I have in my data sets. So whenever I build a formula, I'm not going to select these ranges. I'm going to bring this name manager or the table manager to help me to work with it better. Now I want to build a simple logic. So before I go into sum functionality, before I go into a DSum functionality, I give you an idea about how a spell effect is going to work. I am about to bring a sales for the following districts using the sum if functionality. So I'm not going to do anything very big. I'm going to just use the normal sum if functionality. Again, we all know the sum if functions really well. If you want to know more about sum if function, I will give you another video description below on the video, so you can check that alone. Now I want to give the range criteria and sum range. The range is going to be my district, so I've already named it. So if I give a district name, so that's going to give you the district name here. I'm going to give a comma. If I've already created a district criteria here, that would have been great. So when I go for district criteria, I didn't create that, so let me just recreate that. So let me select this, go back to my formula, and then create from selection, and then I'm going to give the top row as my list here, give an OK. Then now I'm going to come back here. Again, this is calling, I'll call it as district criteria, and then let me just see whether I have yes, I have two different functionalities here. Okay, let me just check this alone. Yeah, I'll delete this. I will recreate this again for us. So this will allow us to work around with the data better. I want to see all the formulas whatever I write below, so I just created a formula text below. If you're using Office 2013 version and above, you can see all these formulas one by one. Now I'm going to go back to my sum if functionality. I'm going to create only one particular answer for the list. Again, I'm bringing in more than one district in this data set, so I'm going to give the district first, and then the criteria is going to be my district range. that selects both the data. Then I'm going to give a sales here. Then when I give a close bracket and give an enter, that's going to give you the answer for both these dimensions automatically. This is my SumIf functionality. Even if you give SumIf functionality, the answer is going to be similar pattern here, because I am selecting one column but two different districts on the similar column. Again, this is the only reason why I'm going for DSum here. So if I go for SumIf functionality, again I'm going to go back to sales first, and then I'm going to bring the criteria here. I'm going to call the district as my criteria, and then I'll call this as district criteria as the final part of it. So when I give an OK here, automatically you can see the answer is not consolidating into one. It is giving you two different areas separately. So now I'm going to just come back here, and then I will remove this criteria out of the equation, because when I create the name manager here, so I have to be perfect here. So I'm not going to create a name manager this time around. I'm going to use the DSum functionality here. When I go for DSum functionality, we are going to take all the data into consideration. So I'm going to go for the entire data sets here. So let me choose them from the top to bottom. I've already named that here as database all, so, or I tabled it already. So I'm going to give a comma, and then I'm going to ask you the question. So what is the field that I want to do right now? So I'm going to create the sales field as my result here. Then I'm going to give a comma, and then I'm going to pick up the criteria here as my districts here. So I'm going to pick up the district criteria here. When I close the bracket and give an enter, I'm going to get both these answers summed together. So now if you want to see the total valuation here, I'm going to just say sum this two, and let me just bring that in here also. So now you can see the summation is going to give you a list automatically. So the DSum will allow you to bring the summation of all the data into one line. If I want a one line answer for a conditions which is belong to a single column, probably DSum will be the best option to do so. So now what I'm about to do right now is I'm going to add a slicer to it to check whether my answer is right or wrong. I'm going to go back to my table design and add a slicer. Again, I'm going to keep the slices in the same column itself. I'm going to just say district and give an OK. That's going to give all my districts here. So I'm okay with that. Then I just add a color to it. By that way I can just make sure that the data sets are coming correctly here. I've already added a table here, and then I have a name manager. So I've did everything. So the moment I select the first district, it shows you the value correctly. The moment I select this next two district, that's going to showcase the value correctly. And then now I colored these two ranges. If both the answers are correct, then my subtotal answer above and then the total of DSum should be colored automatically. That's the agenda that I've made here. So now visually I know that my answer is right. I don't want to sit and read those contents here. I say it is what is the value that is actually becoming as a combined sale here is 1.63 crores and 7,997 is the total value of sales done in these two regions together. When I remove this, you can see the coloring point will go off. Again, I'm selecting only the Chengalpet district here, so that's going to showcase the data set alone here. So this is how we can use the combination of table, name manager, subtotal function, conditional formatting, and the slices to make sure the data set works. And if I want one line answer for the same column information, then I will be using one of the function called DSum here. DSum will allow you to get all these dimensions work better. So let me add this video for us, and then I will add all the supporting videos that I would want you to go through before you come back to this data, because this might be a little faster than normal. I preferably ask you to do that with a complete learning first, and then when you apply this in the data set, it works beautifully. I could have done the DSum with a proper name manager, but I didn't do that because I want to make sure I don't spend too much of time on SumIf and SumIfs. So when I bring the data into play, so it made my life a little more easy because I already tabled the range here. So the only thing that I did in here is manually selecting the ranges alone to get the right answer here. So whatever the district name that you want to make it in this list, you can do them all, and then you can filter it out better. If you are trying to see all the data completely here in the slicer, so you can do that. by going to the slices and make sure that the slices are coming nice and clearly here. I'm making it into a 8-column data so that I can see them all, and then I'll expand this because I don't want to see the datas anymore, because the data is not going to really help me out. I'm going to just filter it out. I'm interested to see the numbers above and the totals here. Other than that, nothing is really matters most. So I can add a slicer. I get all my district list here completely, which allows me to make sure the data set comes nice and clear. I hope that you know how to use DSum right now to get a consolidated line item of data in a singular or a single column with multiple name to be combined together. This is Vinod signing out from Excel Snippet and iSelf Academy Snippet YouTube channel. If you are new to the video or if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe it. Click the bell icon below, which will allow you to get all the new videos. And this is the video which I'm doing it very long time ago. The last video that I made was on 1st of March, and I'm trying to do one on the 1st of September, literally 5 months afterwards. Keep learning more. I'm going to add all the very less used functionality in Excel. We are going to learn a lot of new functions or a lot of new formulas in Excel pretty soon. Cheers. Have a great day ahead.